Good evening, and welcome to the second installment of Studio E, the Existential Series. My name is Susan Bond. I'm an actor and creative director for the Demitasse Players, a local not-for-profit theater company. And I'm here to speak to you this evening on behalf of the playwright and the Demitasse Players about what the stage represents to us. The stage for us is not just a platform to showcase our talents. For us, it is a classroom. We strongly believe that it's a classroom. If we are living the truth of our character, we can pull back the curtain and get a glimpse of the crooked timber of humanity. This will allow us to shine the spotlight on one of society's greatest pathos, mental illness. We as a troupe are committed to shedding light on this illness and to giving voice to those who are afflicted with this disease. We are looking to initiate a conversation, an onstage conversation, to educate and enlighten, to bring focus to this specific cause. Through our craft, we will write, we will make music, we will sing, we will dance. We will promote our vision to address this important cause. We will use the talent to educate, to enlighten, and to bring focus to effect change. We want to create, to break silence. We want to cause a domino effect in the theater to again bring light on mental illness. The playwright's vision is to harness all the diverse talent within the group. We will be producing a number of plays, psychotronic films, and existential music composition to further this cause. I will be also integrating more with a leadership role for transition to a repertory company, which will enable us to produce more plays and have them evolve to the goal of bringing mental illness to light. I'd like to offer thanks and gratitude on behalf of the playwright Richard Cerulli to James Kenny and the staff of the White Plains Community Media, and also Kymar Limited, as well as the Whippoorwill Theater in Armonk. If you would like more information and to see more of a comprehensive view of our body of work, we'd like you to visit our website at www.demitasseplayers.com. Once again, we thank you for joining us this evening, and we hope to invite you back for Studio 3. Good evening and welcome. My name is Susan Bond. I'm an actor and creative director for the Demitasse Troupe, a not-for-profit theater company. I've been asked to come here this evening and tell you what the stage represents to me. The stage for me and all actors is an opportunity to create. We take the words of the playwright and we craft them into a living being. We flesh out the emotional and physical attributes, and we layer and create a rich history which includes relationships and political aspirations, socioeconomic status, sexuality, and a host of other things. We breathe life into the lungs of our creation until it's self-sustaining. We want this entity to be able to stand and exist on its own. We are storytellers. We want you to laugh and cry. We want you to feel. We want you to empathize. We want you to come into our home, our living room, our bedroom, and we want you to share and experience feelings that touch your heart and your soul. If we can capture you for a few short minutes, this is what we want to achieve. To borrow the words of Sanford Meisner, an actor's job is to live truthfully under imaginary circumstances. If you can suspend your reality and believe in us, then we have accomplished our goal as actors.
Good evening. My name is Alexa Servodidio, and I am a founding member of the Demitasse Players Repertory Theater and a licensed clinical social worker. On behalf of Richard Cirilli, the playwright and producer, and our troupe, we welcome you to the next installment of Studio E series. This evening's show will feature various scenes from the playwright's most recent play, Thoughts for a Lost Friend, recently performed at the Whippoorwill Theater to rave reviews. This performance was dedicated to our nation's Vietnam veterans. In this play, two aging baby boomers find closure after 40 years after losing a close friend to Vietnam. In the first scene, Jonathan, in the present, is in retirement, becoming suicidal as he begins to read his diary from his teen years. The next scene is Jonathan, in the past, writing his diary to record the chaos of the 1960s. As with all of the playwright's works, this work takes a deep existential view of pain and loneliness inflicted on the human soul for their honorable deeds. The Demitasse Players are committed to assist humanity in distress and to straighten the crooked timber of our humanity. We hope you enjoy this evening's presentation and welcome you to attend the next play's performance, which is also slated to be into a movie. We hope this play resonates in your mind, in your heart, and your soul to assist us in straightening our crooked timber of humanity. Please refer to our website, www.demitasseplayers.com, for performance schedules and performances of our past shows.
In my reflective reverie, I became conscious of the technological silence that surrounded me today. No emails, no texts, and no voice messages. No familiar calls to mark my existence. Today, my world felt silent. The aging process is always on time, though always mocking us with moments of underserved loneliness. In this moment of physical rest, my mind entered into a course of inner reflections with self-analyzing conversations, in the belief I could construct a new future from the smoldering ashes of my past, believing I can transmute the future's outcome of learned lessons from my past, which only exists within the biased memory with little or no consensus among the images of my head. The loneliness of my silence bred thundering thoughts and lightning that struck my soul more than once in the same place. I was also equally guilty in this game of silent Russian roulette for getting lost within myself in the emotional vacuum that exists between time and space. Time and space. In my existential alienation, my thoughts conducted me with motionless melancholy through our sad history of humanity in distress, the byproduct of our comfort with ignorance and disdain for truth and wisdom. I embraced my self-imposed exile of silence as a means to engage the character and habits of the profane. For to do more would be like throwing pearls before fattened swine. The earnest mind is like a camera that pans to our thoughts, capable of stopping to zoom in on those thoughts of interest. Today, I zoomed in on one of those past days of youthful indiscretion coupled with the rites of passage. Why am I block these thoughts out of my mind out of neglect, denial, fear, or cowardice? Or maybe just having a post-event brain virus? We judge ourselves too cruelly in our golden years, for our paths taken and forsaken, and crossroads feared. Although, we're wise enough to know that all paths taken or denied are filled with rewards and regrets. In our golden years, we have less time to entertain the what-ifs. Only the what was. In my teens, I slept with the sweats of fear, knowing my fate was not my own. My plans collided with my destiny with opposing force with its recoil of rejection. Camus said it best, amor fati. We have no choice but to love our fate. For hating it or being in fear of it won't change it. Absinthe. My old friend. The high school years. It was so much. 1968. The year that changed everything. I was a sophomore in high school. My fate would soon be in the hands of the local draft board. My thoughts were now like echoes in a reverb chamber that was driving stakes deep within my soul, and my mind revisited the news of the Tet Offensive, Quezon, the USS Pueblo, and the Malay Massacre, not to mention all the domestic chaos plaguing our nation at the time. Well, at least 3 astronauts got lucky enough to escape the Earth's chaos for 11 days aboard Apollo 7. I always kept the journal even in my teens. I always had this fantasy of sorts that if I ever became famous and died early, that I would have my story to leave behind. Well, I'm older, and I'm certainly not famous in any way, and I don't even know why I keep these journals anymore. I don't think anybody would be genuinely interested in reading them anyway. I mean, not even my children. Well, maybe the nosy and curious with their sick, inquisitive minds, looking for something scandalous or unbecoming of my character, or... "1969 was the year the war expanded into Cambodia. Codenamed Operation Menu, followed by Hamburger Hill. Operation Apache, Operation Camden. And by the end of the year, the U.S. military presence peaked at 543,000. 543,000. And now the government was talking of implementing a draft lottery for all males, 18 to 26, requiring us to report to the Selective Service. Or why have I forgotten all of this? Why am I so compelled to read on? Thursday, June 10th, 1971. I found myself in
I must have crashed last night while I was getting food.
That's okay. We're okay.
I was tired and my head was still cloudy from the meth I'd taken over the past few days as I crammed for my finals. I had the day off. I turned on the TV to see what was going on with the Vietnam War. More body bags sent home with honor to their grieving families. Sadly, these were the fortunate ones to a degree. Many a youth left and never returned to their families, dead or alive, given the nom de plume as MIA, missing in action. All winners of the lottery of fate, I would imagine. The draft lottery for my year has been postponed to August 5th from its customary July 1st date. I was relieved in one sense that I have more time to live and to confront my fate, but on the other hand, I think it may be a bad omen of sorts. I'm not a gambler, and would not say a very lucky person. Now somebody else would be gambling with my life and my future. So ironic, I don't even own myself at this point at 18. I began to think of what would lie ahead of me in the next year. College? Or a government-paid road trip to Vietnam, to kill, and maybe even be killed in some foreign terra firma. Why the hell even fucking study for what? What are the benefits if one dies in their youth, smart or dumb? Tombstones lack IQs. I lit up a joint to break up my melancholy. Then I opened up the window and burned some incense in the event of an unscheduled parent intrusion. I pulled my disheveled self together, went downstairs, showered, got dressed, and left the house without a destination. As I left the house, I found myself in the middle of another one of my parents' caustic arguments. They only stopped to turn their rage and hostilities towards me, the only thing that they held in common. You know, the catcalls were rather abusive, but expected, typical, and frequent. Hey, where are you going? To get high? Going to screw your whore girlfriend? I just exited. I ignored them. They resumed their fight as my mother's paramour waited outside in his car with his ND plates. Friday, July 2nd, 1971. I woke up during the night in a nightmare of sweat. Life is such a contradiction. It's arbitrary, capricious. Are we ruled by fate? Destiny? Where's my free will? We're just pawns in the hands of the power brokers, with our free will limited to the time between their moves. In a little over a month, I'll know my fate, possibly counting down my days of life if I win big in next month's draft lottery. With less college deferments and little to no chance of my parents paying for college, what will I have to look forward to, huh? The killing fields of Vietnam? Body bag to call my own? or never to return home. You know, the elders tell me not to worry. By the time I reach middle age, I'll look back on this time as a proud and fond accomplishment. You know, I have to laugh. Who says with age comes wisdom? You know, if I'm killed by the time I'm 20, middle age for me will be 10 years old. I don't remember looking at myself at 10 as being brave and noble with a dream to kill humans for my badge of honor. I spent the day in my room, playing my guitar, reading, just hanging out. Around 7-ish, I went to hang out with some friends, nothing worth writing about. Sunday, July 4th, 1971. I have no plans or desires to offer my unlived life to Washington. You know, I wrestled with my options. What if I hit a low number? Question my own courage. Was Shakespeare right when he said something like, a brave man dies but once, but a coward dies 1,000 deaths? Or is it just jungle survival of the fittest? Will I die 1,000 deaths for every memory that I recall of everyone that I've killed in battle? I mean, whose child would I be killing? Whose parent would I be killing? How can one kill with honor or for honor? It was a hot, humid day. All of us were feeling down. We had another one of us drafted and would be shipping out Friday, July 16th. You know, our ranks were getting thinner by the months. We all went to attend the local fireworks. We didn't even bother to get high. The drugs could no longer ease our growing pains. Life was beginning to end as we knew it. At the fireworks, we all contributed to the veterans selling their poppy flowers. In our melancholy, we felt guilty, appreciative, but mostly lost. Thursday, July 15th, 1971. 6 a.m. again, I couldn't sleep. Only 19 days away until my draft lottery, and I felt the pressure of the day bearing down on me day after day. Along with my indecision as to how to plan for a winning number. You know, in our youth, we exploit our foolishness, seeking out thrills with our ignorance and folly, knowing that in adulthood we would applaud ourselves for not wasting our youth solely on growing up. The days appeared to grow shorter as my lottery day approached. All my praying would not halt time. I only prayed for a high number, knowing I was unlucky in any game of chance. But now I've reached my majority. Graduating from all the protections and benefits from being a minor, I can now sign contracts, legally drive at night, legally drink, oh yeah, and be drafted.
Friday, July 16th.
The benefits of reaching my majority do not outweigh my lost youthful privileges and society's forgiveness of youthful discretions. For us common teenage boys outside the world of privilege, the draft hung over our heads like a sword of Damocles. I just spent the day hanging out with a girlfriend, Judy, at her parents' in-ground pool for the day. Her blonde hair, blue eyes. And that bikini, they were a smooth respite from my inner turmoil. We smoked a joint, got high, and made love by the pool. We were not the inhibited types. Friday, July 16th, 1971. 12 noon. Slept well, woke up late. Got out of bed just around noontime. I made plans for tonight's send-off party for Meade. That wasn't his real name. His real name was Arthur Wormwood, but I gave him this nickname since he was a little different from the rest of us. He never smoked pot. He just drank, and he had blonde hair. You know, he kind of looked like a Viking, you know? He was the only wasp in our gang of friends. Drinking mead every time he got drunk. That Viking concoction of beer and honey. Ugh. He never wears his hair long or down, always combs it back. Meade is either really humble or had some self-esteem issues. He never felt he was good looking enough to date attractive girls. He always smiles and is good-natured and respectful. He was one of us, but different. Living in his world of sorts. I don't ever recall having words with him, but I felt some foreboding over tonight's send-off. Out of all the gang, he was the most respectful one. He had like a child's innocence. 6 p.m. I started calling the guys and gals about making arrangements for me to send-off party. We had it down to a ritual. Sadly, we'd done this so many times in the past that we no longer really enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming here to meet me today.
John, I don't know why I'm doing this. You're not worthy of my company or respect. You're nothing but a coward. Why did you call me today after 40 years of ignoring our phone calls? What kind of a man abandons his friends in a time of need?
How's Mary doing?
Fucking bank. She OD'd right after we got the news about need. That was 40 years ago. We called you, we left messages, but never heard back from you. Why, John, huh?
And the acid queen, Paula, how's she doing? Oh, she was always so fun.
I can't believe this. Did you just come here to screw with me, Mr. fucking Ivy MBA? Paula died 10 years ago. Ovarian cancer. She kept asking for you, but once again, you were nowhere to be found, you coward.
And Danny? Sticks, we used to call him, and
Look,
Big
John,
Mac.
John, stop the bullshit. Why don't you just go find him yourself? You're just fucking unbelievable.
Patty, please.
You only called me here today because you need something. Well, let me refresh your memory. Do you remember the last time you saw me?
Oh, Patty, that's not fair. I mean, I can't remember. It's 40 years.
That's the point, John. Let me remind you. Remember when you called me after Meade left? You felt down, poor John, and you took me to the sacred woods so we can forget about Meade's induction. You were worried about your upcoming draft lottery, remember? Have you really forgotten that evening too? Do you have any recollection of it at all?
Patty, I'm sorry. I don't remember. I mean, it's been years.
Well, think, John, think and try to remember that evening. Wasn't it special for you? Wasn't it magical? Don't you remember, John?
I'm sorry, Patty. I don't remember.
It's just a matter of time as life passes us by. Will there be sunshine in heaven's sky, or life to deny? just has to be a matter of time. It's all we have, rain or shine. Just has to be a matter of time. It's all we have.